They were dragged into the open not as criminals, but as an example. A mother and her 7 sons, bound, bruised, surrounded, and at the center of it all stood a king who believed he could break them. Antiochus IV Epiphanes. He gave them something simple, something small, food, but it was forbidden, and that was the test. Eat and live, he said. Refuse and die. It sounded easy. Just one bite and everything would be over. The pain would stop. The fear would end. They would go home. But that one bite meant something deeper. It meant denying everything they believed. It meant turning their backs on God just to stay alive. The first son was brought forward. His body was already shaking, not because he was weak, but because he understood what this moment meant. He looked at the food. Then he looked at his mother. She didn't scream. She didn't beg him to survive. She simply looked at him and gave the smallest nod. And in that moment he chose, "I will not eat." The words were quiet, but they carried weight. The kind of weight that cannot be taken back. And just like that, his fate was sealed. The others watched. They heard everything. They felt the fear rising inside them. But they also saw something else. Conviction. The second son stepped forward. There was anger in his eyes now, not fear. He spoke with strength.
"You can take this life, but you cannot take what comes after."
The king's patience began to fade. This wasn't supposed to happen. They were supposed to break. They were supposed to beg. But instead they stood, one after another. The third son didn't wait to be forced. He stepped forward on his own. Before anyone could even speak, he made his choice clear. Not because he wasn't afraid, but because he had already decided who he belonged to. The mother watched it all, every moment, every decision, every loss. Her heart was breaking piece by piece. But she did not stop them. She did not tell them to give in. Instead, she encouraged them. Through tears and through pain, she reminded them of something greater than the moment they were in. By the time the fourth son was called, everything felt heavier. This one hesitated. His eyes moved from the food to the ground to his brothers. The weight of fear was real now. It pressed on him harder than before, and for a moment it looked like he might give in. That's when his mother stepped forward. Her voice was no longer quiet. It was urgent, emotional, desperate, but not for his survival, for his soul.
"My son, listen to me. I carried you, but I did not give you life. God did."
Her words cut through the fear, not removing it, but putting it in its place. Do not fear the one who can only take what was never truly his. Something changed in him, not around him, but inside him. The fear didn't disappear, but it no longer controlled him, and he made his choice. The fifth and sixth followed. By now, something had shifted completely. They were no longer reacting. They were resolved. What once felt impossible now felt certain. Then came the youngest, too young for this, too young to carry a decision like this. The king saw it too, so he changed his approach. His voice softened.
"You don't have to die. You're still young. Just eat, and I will reward you. Wealth, power, a future."
For a moment it sounded tempting. A way out, a second chance. All he had to do was compromise. Just once. Just a small act. No one would blame him. No one would expect him to be as strong as the others. But then his mother spoke again. Not loudly, not forcefully, but with clarity.
"Do not trade eternity for a moment."
Those words settled deep within him, and when he finally spoke, it was simple. "I belong to God." And just like his brothers, he stood firm. Silence filled the space that followed. Not peace, not relief, just the weight of what had happened. 7 sons, gone, one after another. And now only the mother remained. She stood there alone. Everything she had carried, everything she had loved, taken from her. The king looked at her one last time. "And you?" he asked. It was her final chance, her final moment to choose life. All she had to do was give in, just a word, just a gesture, and it would all be over. She could walk away. But she didn't. Through grief that cannot be explained, through pain that cannot be measured, she spoke. "I gave them to God.
I gave them to God.
I will not take them back."
I will
And in
not
that
take them
moment,
back.
she made the same choice they did. Not because it was easy, not because it made sense, but because her faith was real. This was not a story about people who felt no fear. It was a story about people who chose God in spite of it. A mother and her 7 sons who lost everything the world could see, but held on to what the world could never take. And their story still asks one question. What would you choose if it cost you everything? If this story stirred your heart and reminded you of the power of faith, subscribe to Soaked in Truth. Be part of a journey through real stories of courage, devotion, and unshakable belief.